Yaore nyakora Mogajwang, odiochieng' machielo manyasao miyo kawuono nase singorine wadhi go mbaka e weche matenore gi opportunities for early learning. Mago gin weche matenore gi nyithindwa matindo, gigo eko ma wamiyogi kapod ok gidhi e somo mamalo mag skul. Adhi go mbaka kae gi osiepega kata wende mawuok Interfaith, wasebedo ka wago kodgi mbaka e weche mopogore opogore. Ka wendona madhi bedo go kawuono iluongo ni Abrams. Kendo inyalo luonge ni Daktari Abrams Wanda Odongo. Ma wadhi bedo wadhi mbaka. Wadhi bedo gi wendo machielo ma en Joseph Goga. Ka achiel gi jadolo bende. Aneno ka odeyo rome kabisa. Iluongo ni Jefton Omune. Weche ma wadhi go mbaka gin weche ma muli kendo mulo ngimani, omiyo ok onego bayi kata nyadichiel. In kaka jawinjo isebedo machiegni mar ikruok mar timo kodwa twak ne wera gik ma wadawuoye kawuono gin gigo eko ma ok onego bayi kata nyadichiel.
Okay, thank you. Okay, now I want to begin. We want you to tell us who you are and how you've interacted with the school ICT program like CRS, and you can maybe give us an example, or you can tell us about one of the episodes that you had and the successes that came out of it.
Okay, thank you. I'm Lucky Owino. I've been the host for the program, and for sure I can confirm that this has been one of the most productive programs in our station since the inception up to now. For example, when we start with the online followers, we were at 20,000. Today I can confirm to you that our Facebook platform is growing rapidly and we are at 23,000. So that is an increment of 3,000. Looking at the number of callers, we used to have roughly 23 in a program. Today we read 48, 51. At times we go up to 58. So that is another, that is something I can say that is out of this program, because I'm looking at it this way. Whenever we have the program on Wednesdays, you will find that we've got several callers compared to other days. For example, we are tackling something on breastfeeding. This is one of the topics that we did, I think, 3 times, because the listeners wanted to be done more and more again. There is a segment of breastfeeding that was talking about men involvement in breastfeeding. And you see, men, we believe that after we've done the activity, you understand what I mean by the activity, we now leave the rest to the mother, from the conception, that journey until you have your baby, until now you are nursing the baby, until the baby is now somewhere you can talk. That is when you see a man coming back. But we were taught that even breastfeeding, you are part and parcel of that. You need to be patting the back, you need to be touching the baby, you need to be talking to the kid, you see all that. And men were disputing, but I am happy that today, men who are listening to Girwa Radio, this particular program today, they can testify that there is a big change, and they do follow step by step. Out of this, we did another, we tackled another topic, which was talking about early, it's called opportunities for early learning. Now, the opportunities for early learning was particularly stimulation. How do you stimulate your kid so that when they'll be ready for formal education, they know what to do, they know how to tackle issues, they know how to cope with today's life. We learned several things, and I appreciate that our listeners could make calls, they could ask several questions, and one thing was for sure, that if you don't get it right at home, whether you take this child to the best school in Kenya or in the world today, they will never perform. So I want to appreciate what we've been doing. I want to appreciate the organization, the entire organization, and I cannot fail to mention that the involvement of, I want it in full, but I do the CRS. It's Catholic, no. Let me just call it the CRS for today, because that is what I'm much conversant with. Has been the involvement or the engagement, the partnership, them coming in the limelight has really improved the program. Today we can say that just like the politicians, churches do behave the same. We didn't have so many Catholics making calls. Today we have them in the program. We've got other programs within our setup. One is basically for the Catholics. I want to tell you that you can play music from the beginning to the end without a single caller from Catholic Church. Now, when it comes to this program, they are fully packed. So I want to confirm that their involvement has brought us something new, and it's something we want to do over and over again. Now, looking at the society, based on the programs we are doing today, our society needs information that is first-hand. What you are offering is first-hand information. You can't go to school to learn, for example, the topics we have just talked about. There are things that are family, life-based, and people want real examples. I love the speakers we've had from the organization. There are people who are conversant with the topics. They know what they are doing and they know what they are training. So we're really happy for this, and we believe that we'll do this more and more again to change our society. And maybe just to mention in a nutshell, you see today we've got what we call denominations. Many people cling to their denominations. Many people tend to believe that if it's not my church, then there is no church. There are several issues that can be addressed in the church, but today we tend to believe it's only religious matters. But come to the organization, we find things to do with finances, we find things to do with health, we find things to do with the religion itself, and we come to terms that at the end of the day, we are one community, we are a family, and our issues across all the churches are the same. What affects an SDA, what affects Catholic person, what affects Anglican person, affects the people from other churches. So we have learned a lot of things, and I can testify today that society is really appreciating. Yes.
Okay, thank you. Maybe you can tell us how many sessions you hold for this program, and in the episodes that you've held, is there one that stood out for you that you can tell us about?
Yeah, basically I started with talking about breastfeeding. Now, breastfeeding was the best. Then another one was I've selected just two. We've done several, but there is this opportunity for early learning, which is basically the stimulation, and there is this for breastfeeding. The one that I can say was the best was on breastfeeding. You know, we began from when the child is still in the womb. We were talking about nutrition. We did know that it will culminate to something greater, such that people could be making calls. I remember that time, that day when we were having this particular topic, we even asked for more time. I remember that is the time that our show ended at around 10:45 instead of 10, because people were asking, listeners, our audience were questioning several things about breastfeeding. We didn't know that, they didn't know that we've got stages that are so important in the life of a child from the womb before seeing the outside world. And you see, these are some of the things that people want to hear again and again. They want to learn. We learned something that the major cause of division in families today is the child, which should be the blessings. So you see, these are things that I can testify that actually that particular topic